Hey, welcome back to Matt again. My name is Rampage and this is Gaming News. This article is PS4's remote play doesn't support Windows 7 or 1080p. So, those of you that don't really understand what remote play is, basically it was introduced with the PSP and PS3 era where you could use your PSP to control the PS3. Now, it only worked in a few games, but it was still there. You could use it to, I think you could watch videos and listen to music on the PSP, I think, with sound. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of games you couldn't really play, right? So it was basically rendered useless. But the remote play on PS4 was, I don't know if it allowed... This is a weird one because I don't know if it worked with PSP to PS4, but I know for a fact that it worked with PS Vita to PS4. So it was interesting, but I don't know whether you could play games. That was something that I'm not really too sure about. But what this new version of remote play allows, if you update your PS4 to the newest version, which is 3.50, you can set up remote play to work on your PC or Mac, which is quite interesting because you can, I'll get into that in a sec, why I think it's kind of cool. But the OS that it supports is Windows 7 8.1 or later, or OS X 10.10 or later. Now the resolution options are 360p, 540p, and 720p, which it defaults to 540p. Now, in my experience, the 720p upscaled to a 1080p monitor looks fine. But the only problem that I have with it is that it's, a little bit washed out, a little bit blurred, right? Because it's 720p upscaled to 1080p. That's the same thing that happened with most PS3 games. It happened with Uncharted, God of War, all that sort of stuff. Except the God of War 1 or 2 remakes or remasters or whatever you want to call them were in native 1080p, I think. But yeah, whatever. The frame rate that the program supports is standard, which is 30 FPS, or high, which is 60 FPS. Now, is it really too hard to label standard as 30 FPS, or at least in brackets have 30 FPS, and high have 60 FPS? Is it really that hard, Sony? No. Okay, so Sony also states that the controller should be connected via USB. Now, it doesn't outline whether it's due to not having programmed it to support Bluetooth on PC, or whether it has something to do with the latency or the input latency that would occur via PS4 controller, Bluetooth, Ethernet to the system. I don't know. But it seems quite likely that that's the reason. So hopefully in a future patch that it may support Bluetooth, but who knows. Now, having this program come out and only support 720p is perfectly fine with me. And this is why. Because a lot of people on YouTube only record in 720p. But what makes this even more interesting is the fact that I can use, or now I can use, NVIDIA Shadowplay to record PS4 games natively. Right? Well, not really natively because it doesn't... Shadowplay doesn't technically lock to the window, but it does give me another option. And NVIDIA Shadowplay is a free recording software, so for people that, want to do this sort of thing, or, record videos on their PS4 or whatever, it works perfectly fine. If and only if they have an NVIDIA card that supports NVIDIA Shadowplay. So that's the only drawdown with that, but thankfully I do, and I can record full screen 720p, and obviously shrink it down to the actual 720p resolution. So what I will be recording in would be 1080p, but downsampled to 720p when I output it, or export. So that's fine, right? So will Sony release a 1080p resolution support in the future, as well as supporting Windows 7? I don't know. Windows 7, there's a lot of people using it. According to the Valve's hardware survey, it shows that 40% of people that are using Steam are using an older OS, older than 8.1 or Windows 10. So there is some demand there, right, to support Windows 7. To support anything after Windows 7, I wouldn't even bother. But Windows 7 onwards, that's probably your best bet there. As well as, allowing 1080p. That's the only option that I really care about at this point. But I have a feeling that the reason why they didn't allow people to, stream, so to speak, in 1080p is due to input latency, maybe. Because maybe for 1080p they'd have to set the bitrate slightly higher, therefore requiring more bandwidth and input, whatever. I don't know. That's just my guess, right? Hopefully in the future there will be a 1080p update. And is there anything else? Maybe they could add like a bitrate option as well. Like if you wanted to stream in a specific bitrate or whatever, that would be cool as well. But obviously there would have to be a default bitrate setting, because if you lower that and set it to like 1080p, it may look kind of garbage. So hopefully they have, if they do add 1080p option, they do have defaults for all of the options, like 360p, 540p, 720p, and also 1080. But oh well, it's a cool little experimental program if you want to get into just trying it, I suppose. Because for me, my experience is basically it performs fine. It's not really 100% native response times or whatever, but it does have like a little bit of input lag, but not enough to steer you away from actually using the remote play software. So who knows? It could be another reason for people to I don't know if this would be a reason, but for people like me that have to go out and get like an Elgato Game Capture HD or whatever, it is a good thing that this software exists, especially for Mac users as well, right? If I want to record it, I just load up the PS4 Remote Play app and connect it to my PS4, and I can use it on my screen, on my PC screen. I'll show you some gameplay as well at the end of the video. But yeah, it's interesting. It is really interesting. But I don't believe that there's any word on the street whether or not there will be a 1080p update anytime soon. But hopefully in the next coming months there will be, because that would just be amazing. Because native 1080p rather than upscaled 1080p, then downsampled to 720p, exporting is going to be a little bit weird. But at least I can record with NVIDIA Shadow Play without using my Elgato Game Capture HD, recording at 30 frames per second, whereas NVIDIA Shadow Play, I can record at 60 frames per second, and that's fine. It records directly to my PC hard drive. So yeah, that's kind of cool, I suppose. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. Do you think that requiring the user to connect via the USB cable, not allowing Windows 7 to work with this application, as well as no 1080p option, do you think that those are needed requirements, or do you think that they're just a little bit out of the scope as of right now, as of like a beta sort of program? I think it's perfectly fine as of right now, and in the next coming months it's only going to get better. So that's a good approach to remote play for PC and Mac. But anyway, my name is Rampage. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.